Hi guys, and welcome to another Skyrim mod preview video. Now in this video I'm going to be covering two mods. The first one, the Sound Propagation Overhaul mod, and the second one, Footsteps Sound Overhaul. They are by the same author, and in fact the Footsteps mod used to be a part of the Sound Propagation mod, but has now been separated. And what these mods do is improve the sound in Skyrim. Now, sound in Skyrim is sometimes overlooked by a lot of people modding. They tend to focus on the way the game looks and less on how it sounds, but how it sounds is actually very important. In Skyrim, sound is actually surprisingly muffled. I never really thought about it before trying out this mod, but in fact you really don't hear a lot of ambient sound actually. For example, take the blacksmith hammering. I'm not that far away, and anyone who has ever been near to anyone hammering metal will tell you that being only 10 or 15 meters away from someone smashing a large metal hammer into another piece of metal, you are going to be hearing that sound. It is going to be annoying you, whereas you can barely hear it here. Even closer like this, it's still quite a pleasant little sound. Not very realistic actually. And footsteps, well, they are very disappointing. Barely hear them. They're very muted, very muffled, and don't often give you much of an indication as to what surface the person's walking on either. And here I am, stood next to a waterfall, and the sound is, well, fairly muted, to be honest. And if I stand and listen, I can still hear the wind, and occasionally I can hear the odd birds singing. And now with the mod installed, now I have not changed the volume on my game at all. This is the difference the mod makes. That waterfall is now, I mean, it sounds a lot clearer to me, it sounds a lot crisper, and it is a lot louder. The sound dominates everything. And I can tell you, I live on a small river about this size, and it has 3 or 4 waterfalls within about 10 minutes of me, and if I stand this close to them, I cannot really hear much unless it is very loud and very close. So this is actually a lot more realistic. And back at the blacksmith, now listen to his hammering. So much louder. And even as I move further out from town, I can still hear the blacksmith from this distance, even over the sounds of the birds, the sounds of the wind, the water. And there's a slight echo to it. And it seems the closer I get to these mountains, the more the echo sounds and less the normal sounds. So you heard how the sound changed as I moved from the distance to close up? Can you hear the echo? The sound of the blacksmith is coming from over there, but I'm getting echo. That is brilliant. I really like that. And now listen to footsteps with the footstep mod installed. This is with glass boots, as you can hear. As I change from surface to surface, the sound my boots makes also changes. And it is a lot more noticeable than in the vanilla game. And if, for example, I take my boots off, you can hear the difference very, very clearly indeed. And so you may be thinking to yourself, well, I can't take it, it's too much, it's driving me nuts. But you can change the volume on individual things. You can actually do that in the vanilla game to some extent, but with this mod installed, if you go along to settings, audio, you'll notice you've got footsteps, NPCs, effects, footsteps, player. Let's change the player footsteps right down. Ambient noise, turn that to 50. I'm going to leave voice up. Music I've got down at the moment. Menu sound, which as you can hear is very loud. I'll turn that down a little bit. Are there anything else? No, I think that's... Oh no, there is. Water. Maybe the water is too loud for you. I actually really like the loud water. But the footsteps for myself were a little overpowering, and so was the ambient volume. So I'm going to turn those down and see what that is like. Okay, that is a little more pleasant. The ambient sound is now down, but the water is still loud. And my footsteps are definitely quieter. Which is nice, because I like to hear other people's footsteps, but not necessarily my own. But as you can see, you can customize it to your heart's content. It's difficult over the ambient noise to actually hear anyone's footsteps. Probably footsteps are more useful when inside. But there you go. So now I've got very loud water, which is great. This to me is so much more realistic. Now I've only tried this mod a little, hence the reason it's a preview video, but I have a feeling I'm going to keep this mod in my load order. It is bringing Skyrim to life for me, more than I imagined it would. I mean, just listen to that. The whole world feels so much more alive, so much more realistic. This is actually quite surprising. And being able to customize the different volumes, to be able to change the different volumes on different sounds is absolutely essential, I think, because I can imagine this mod becoming overpowering, and yet with that sort of control, so you can get it just right, it really is incredible. Okay guys, this video is a preview, and I haven't tried the mod completely and in lots of different situations. But honestly, right now, I am so impressed with this mod, especially the customization. I cannot emphasize enough how essential it is that you can tweak the volumes for your own personal taste, and the fact that that's been added makes this mod just, I mean, really, I'm very, very impressed. I have a feeling this is one of my must-have mod recommendations, and I really recommend you guys try it out. Okay, well that's it for the video. I hope it helped, and honestly, I hope you tried the mod out. It is really worth just trying it, just to hear the difference. It's pretty incredible.